Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. You know,
wait to hear that Down Under ad.
I know. We'll probably hear that here pretty
Brett
soon.
Recorded. I think he's listening this morning. So as a shout out to Brett, he's one of our new sponsors. We're absolutely delighted
with
to have
Down
him with
Under
us.
Pools
Down
and
Under
Decks.
Pools and Decks.
Brett, that one's for you.
Anyway, with us today is a very dear friend of mine. We've known each other for probably 5 or 6 years. She's very active in the real estate community, great volunteer, runs 4 offices for Intero, and it's Katie Maxwell. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
The politeness is over now.
Yeah, thank you. I want to mention that they are in tuxedos as well, and I know we're on radio, but they are. They're suited up. It's pretty fun.
It's for the pictures afterwards. And
that is correct.
I
and I've got a tuxedo.
It's all
believe
for the
it or
guest
not,
experience.
I also
Oh, he
have a tuxedo
does.
on, yes.
Well,
he has
right
a
there,
good
yes.
t-shirt.
He's got
Tuxes and tennis shoes. Yes. I do wear
thing.
tennis shoes with my tux.
So anyway, Katie, today we're talking about working with custom home builders and builders in general and things like that. And again, the question I always like to ask is taking people from the inception that, hey, I'd like to build a custom home for myself. Where do I start? Where do you take them from there?
You know, I think a lot of, I know my agents, the ones that even have clients who want a custom home, they're finding a lot of custom features in some of the builders that you wouldn't consider necessarily a custom home builder, because they're really changing their models. So builders like Darling or Coventry, they're offering a product that's so incredibly nice now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. With so many different features that you can add, it helps a lot. And then you've got your builders like we talked about before in the Heights, and just so many, just check qualifications if it's a smaller builder. Ask them for some references for some other homes they've built so they can walk them, because that's always an interesting thing.
Very important to get some honest reference and things like that. And of course, Ashley Bowles could not be here today because he had an inspection, but he's a great inspector, and he does a lot of new home inspections, and some of the stuff that's uncovered in those preliminary before they pour the slab and stuff. Do you always make sure that they have an inspector do on a new construction?
Absolutely. Regardless of if it's a tract home builder or a custom home builder, you, in my opinion, definitely need to get an inspector out there, because not that you can't trust anyone, you can, but
people
liability.
are throwing them up very quickly right now, and mistakes happen, and they're just human beings. And so I've looked at some photographs recently of some things that Ashley had found in some inspections, and it was pretty frightening because they're about to pour the concrete. And it was a post-tension slab, which is where they put the tension on the cables after it's poured. And it would have crushed the plumbing if they'd gone ahead and tightened it. And then, tears in the visqueen were the moisture barrier. There's a lot of stuff to look for. And it's just like life. If you have a great foundation, you can build a great house.
Right.
If you don't start off with a good foundation, it's not going to work.
I had that happen when I've been in the business for 13 years, and about 2 years in,
Were you
a
like
younger
12
couple.
at the time?
Yes, I was 13 and a half. It was a good time in my life.
She was on one of those programs where she got out of school half a day.
Oh, Renee, that only made you 18 when you were
license.
babysitting.
Yeah, I had my hardship license. I drove a red plastic car. Anyway, a younger couple purchased a home for me, and the foundation was bad. And then over the next year, the plumbing cracked underneath. And believe it or not, sewage can seep through concrete.
It can. It's porous.
It takes a while.
Right.
But it can. So.
And that's a good thing. My first home that I bought, and I won't say which builder it was with, because I'm not going to say anything good about the actual, nothing bad about the builder, but the home. By not getting an inspection at the very beginning, we built it from the ground up. A couple years into it, all of a sudden, we started getting these huge cracks in the seams of where my brick was. Well, it ends up that during the building process, they forgot to put the hurricane clips on. And so without having those hurricane clips on, the home from the very top started separating a little bit. And so, it's one of those things is if I had an inspector, and I was a first-time home buyer, this is, 12 years ago, no, probably longer than that, probably 15, 16 years ago. If I had a home inspection from the very beginning of that process, that was something that would have been caught, and that would have avoided me a costly repair associated with the home 6 years into it. So, I tell everybody all the time is make sure that you definitely get a home inspection. Make sure that you also, as you mentioned, check those references, check a lot of what's going on, make sure that they have a good reference amount out there, maybe walk some other homes of theirs, talk to other homeowners on your smaller custom home builders. On your larger ones, you can also do the same thing. You can go in the sales offices and find out, who's recently bought. Can I speak with somebody who's recently had the experience on building with you? I think that's very important, to sort of go through those processes right there.
Renee made a great point over here about chickens.
Chicken coop building is big in Houston too.
I'm kidding. But she made a great point, and it includes one of our sponsors that it's really important on a new home, just for like the stuff that you were talking about, to have a good home warranty. Because I was going to ask that, and I know we have a caller, so I don't want to deviate too much, but take a call here real quickly. But I was going to ask, as a newbie, so to speak, to that aspect of it, if you build a new home, do you see, like with an older home, the problems are kind of known, so to speak. Is it much of an issue at all? Do you see that come up with like the issue you were talking about, Chris? Is that something that a new home buyer needs to be more aware of?
I think you have to, no matter what you do, buying a home, period, and Renee and Katie will probably be better to talk about this, but I can speak from a homeowner's perspective is, if I had to do it over again, and I've done this and everything going forward, I will always have a home inspection, and I will always do my due diligence around the builder itself.
Absolutely.
Because I don't care what name brand they are, and I don't care how good the builder is. You need to protect yourself.
It's just one of those things where what you don't know can hurt you.
Also, the warranty, when you're with a custom home builder and you're not in the neighborhood where they're standing there with a general contractor running around, that 210 warranty that comes with like a custom home, it can sometimes be not as easy to get somebody to come back to fix a cracked tile the first year. So just be aware that that's something to get through too.
Well, we have a caller on the line.
We do
right
have
now.
a caller on the line. We have Amber calling in. Amber, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
This voice sounds very familiar. It sounds as though she may work in my office.
Hi, Katie.
Hey, well, that's always good.
My question that I would like to kind of pose is what's a good way to get people to work with you as an agent, with so many of these home builders having a salesperson in their model or a designated salesperson? How can we, as agents, convince the home buyer or potential, builder that it's a good idea to work with us versus just working with a salesperson in their office?
It's a good question, Amber.
Well, I hope you have a good answer to go with that.
Let me answer you now.
I don't know. That's a great question.
I really think that proving our value through being an experienced agent and knowing what you can bring to the table and believing in yourself that the commission that you're going to earn is well worth it, because we do bring so much value as agents to a potential buyer or a builder, whether it be negotiations or, again, urging them to get the home inspection or whatever the case may be. It's uberly important to have an agent on your side, especially when the commission taken away will be paid for by the builder in the first place. It's very important for us to be a part of that.
I would say, talking to the consumer too. This is Joe and Amber. I think always, no matter what it is, if you're providing value and the customer understands what your value is, if the value is greater than the cost to them, they'll choose to do it.
Right. That's
always the bottom line. And so I know from a consumer standpoint, like we talked about just a second ago with Ashley Bowles, AB Bowles Home Inspection. He does a lot of new home inspections, and a lot of the builders will say, we have our inspectors to look at the house. It's so great to have that third party objective insight into that home inspection. It's so worth that value. And I would say, just from a consumer standpoint, not being a realtor, that's a big part of your value as well, is having that third party, outside from the builder, objective person that's, for lack of better words, arguing on your behalf. So
you need to have an advocate.
Critical.
You need to have an advocate in a transaction, and then the thing is, a lot of agents just go take someone to the sales office. They sell the home, and then the agent never shows up to the closing. But a good agent is going to show up for the inspection. Is going to show up for the walkthroughs. When they're having changes, when they're having meetings with the builders, that agent ought to be there as an advocate.
If the builder's staring at you like with hatred in their eyes, then you did a good job.
Yeah, and let me tell you, as you mentioned, it's also important to interview your agent as well. We talk about finding a good custom home builder to build with. I'm a big advocate, and I tell this all the time, I tell everybody you want to use a professional in the industry. I don't believe going into a real estate transaction without a realtor at your side in any type, whether it be I don't believe in the for sale by owner. I don't believe in going into a real estate transaction with a new home builder or an existing home builder. None of that. I think you have to have a real estate agent who represents you. And if you have that agent who represents you well, as you mentioned right there, let's face it, you want to have somebody on your side of the transaction. When you are dealing with a new home builder, their agents are representing their side of the transaction.
And oftentimes they're not even agents. They don't have an agency relationship.
That is correct. They're salespeople.
They're salespeople. They're
are
employees.
representing their side. That is correct. So their loyalty lies on representing their company. And so you want to have somebody on your side to represent you, to make sure you're not over-improving your home, to make sure that what you are putting into it is going to have comparable value, to make sure that you're buying in an area that has, if you're only going to be there for a shorter period of time, that you can find that financing that can actually be an objective person to say, look at this person versus this person. So there's a lot of different things, as we mentioned out there, and I think it's a very good question.
Yeah. We're kind of going to get a break again, and I want to make sure that Katie gets a chance to let people know how they can contact you, your website, your phone number.
Oh, thanks, Rob.
Absolutely.
You can contact me at Intero Real Estate Services. You can reach me at 713-568-2389. That's our office line, and all of our amazing agents like Amber, and thank you for calling in, Amber.
Do me a favor, say that one more time a little bit slower so that anybody out there.
I talk fast, so it's like micro machines. Again, Katie Maxwell, phone number 713-568-2389 or interohouston.com.
Yeah, she's got some great agents over there.
Yes, absolutely. I know several of them.
I hear the music in the background.
It is going right now, which means we're up against a break again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I won't dance. Don't ask me. I won't dance. Don't ask me. I won't dance, madam, with you. My heart won't let my feet do things that they should do.